Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Ritu Sharma, and I am from Up Education. We are waiting for a few more people to join in. Till the time they join in, there's a small video that I am running through just to keep you all engaged. One second. Here you go again.
In a world where change happens faster with each new day, education forges pathways for the future. At Up Education, we are on a mission to elevate and empower people to unlock their potential. As a leading dual-sector education group, we deliver in-demand vocational and higher education across hundreds of accessible programs. And as a top 3 Australasian pathway provider, we offer education to thousands of international students in partnership with 6 globally recognised universities. 2020 has accelerated exponential change more than ever. COVID-19 has provided its challenges, yet created the opportunity to respond in innovative ways. It saw us pivot rapidly to online modes of delivery for thousands of onshore students, while ensuring our international cohorts could also continue their education seamlessly from abroad. We have provided upskilling and retraining opportunities for people whose employment has been impacted by the pandemic. And through the expansion of our 3rd business division, Up Digital, we are robustly positioned to meet the growing needs of global, borderless education. Our growth hasn't stopped there. Bringing the country's largest teachers' college for early childhood education into the group cemented our position as New Zealand's most extensive education provider. And acquiring Adelaide's International College of Hotel Management expanded our Australian higher education credentials. Underpinned by student-centric innovation, our educational services are both world-leading and visionary. Leveraging best-in-class EdTech, our fully digitised enrolment process connects with our students in more meaningful and relevant ways. Our partnership with safety and wellbeing technology company Sonda has been globally recognised for helping Up Education's international students feel safe, secure and better supported. But student success is what we ultimately measure ourselves against. And for many, education is the catalyst for real change.
Up Education gave me the skills and the confidence to fulfill my dream to study education at the University of Auckland.
We continue to foster strong industry connections that open countless doors to employment for our graduates.
Since graduating from engineering trades, I stepped into high-end residentials with TKR, construction, GM builds, and recently just with HOTS projects. Gave me the confidence, the initiatives, the general knowledge with the basic tools to step out there in the real world.
How do we make all of this happen? Through our people. Leading academics, industry-savvy tutors and online learning experts, they all nurture our student-centred global learning community, elevating the potential of our students each and every day.
Education is a transformative industry to work in. Knowing that the work I do helps shape futures and improves accessibility to education gives real meaning to what I do.
And with the collective power of our people, our Workplace Giving program is supporting those communities most in need. Increasingly, education will prove vital for navigating future uncertainties, getting back to work, transforming passions into careers, growing industries and supporting economies. Up Education is ready. We are ever evolving, always with an eye to what the future may hold. So that together, our potential truly is exponential.
Over to you, Almas. I think we are good to go.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Ritu. Thank you very much. So a very good morning, everyone. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Hi, Swati. So we will be starting with the session now. I would like to welcome all the university delegates who have taken their time out to actually talk to all the counselors from across India who have joined us today. And thank you, Ritu, for collaborating with us and helping us in organizing this session. So we will be starting with Ritu. I think this was the video you wanted to show, or
Yeah, this was the first one I wanted to start with, and then we'll do the introduction.
Okay. So over to you, Ritu.
All right, thanks, Almas. Good morning, everyone. And I could see a lot of known people around in the session today. I mean, it's been quite some time that I've not got in touch with most of them. So I hope you all are doing very well. You all are safe. That's the first thing that I think we always think of each other. So please take care of yourself and stay safe. Welcome to the session that we have organized today. We are very excited to share, details about the New Zealand universities that we are partnered with. So hi, my name is Ritu Sharma, those who you do not know me, and I work with Up Education. Up Education is the largest pathway provider. We are the New Zealand-based organization, and in New Zealand, we are working with the 3 high-ranked universities, which include University of Auckland, Auckland University of Technology, and Victoria University of Wellington. Let me share my screen for a quick introduction of my university partners, which are here with us today. All right. Before I do so, a basic quick agenda of the session for you all. So we're going to first do the New Zealand University Partners presentation, which is going to be about 15 minutes in duration. And after that, I will be doing a 5 minutes presentation wherein I'll be sharing about the foundation program options available for your students. And towards the end, we're going to have a question answer session, wherein whatever questions you may have, during the session, you are feel free to write your questions in the chat box, or towards the end, you can unmute your mic and then ask your question. Throughout the session, I request you all just to keep yourself muted so that it will be convenient for everybody to pay attention to what we're going to share with the audience here. So let me do a quick introduction with you. So we have Marcel here with us. He's the regional manager with Auckland University of Technology. Now, Marcel has quite an experience into education sector. It's more than 17 years, and he has a good knowledge of New Zealand market, UK and Australia. He's very passionate working with students, and he believes in that the good education really opens a lot of opportunity and avenues for the student, and that I think what makes us to continue doing that. So he's going to give you the presentation about the Auckland University of Technology and share a very good important information with you all. Then we have Andrea with us. Andrea is from Victoria University of Wellington. Now, Andrea is the regional manager of South Asia market, and she also takes care of Middle East. She is going to be the person for all your queries, related with the programs that is being offered at Victoria University. And last but not the least, we have the University of Auckland. We have Vinita Desai with us. She is the recruitment advisor. Vinita has completed her PhD. She used to be an assistant professor and taught in one of the prestigious university in Mumbai. She is very passionate about, interacting with students and parents, and that is what she loves about the most of the job that she has. So these 3 are going to give you the presentation today, and I request now Marcel to start with his presentation. Over to you, Marcel.
Kia ora, thank you, Ritu. It's fantastic to be here this evening for us, and I guess it's morning or mid-morning over there in India. So appreciate your time all. I'm going to share my screen now, and we'll kick off the presentation. All right, so am I audible, and can you see my screen?
Yes, of course.
I'm going to try and make it bigger so that we can all see it. 1 second. Okay. Cool. So as Ritu has said, my name is Marcel Fletcher. I'm the Regional Manager for India and South Asia or subcontinent. AUT is in the centre of Auckland City, but we also have a few campuses. So today I'll talk a little bit about AUT, a little bit about Auckland City, and a little bit about the partnership with education that we do have. So once again, thank you for joining. Kia ora koutou, namaste. Before we kick off, I do want to acknowledge the people of India and the fact that it is not an amazing time at the moment. Our thoughts and our prayers are with you guys, and we do hope that you're all keeping safe and well. You know, I'm sure you're taking good care of your students, and I hope your families are working through this tough time. So AUT University. AUT is where modern meets world class. AUT is ranked in the top 1% of universities worldwide. We do have a very high employability ranking with the QS stars, and we're ranked #1 in New Zealand for international outlook. So in terms of international outlook, that refers to the students that we have and the countries where they're from. So we have students from over 150 different source destinations. Our lecturers are also from a wide variety of backgrounds, and so they bring that experience with them from the countries that they come from and their experiences. And our curriculum, we try and have a very international curriculum so that it is relevant for students wherever they end up traveling or working eventually in the world after they've graduated. So our place in the world, where is New Zealand? And I'm sure you all know it's there at the bottom of the world. AUT and Auckland is in the North Island, kind of mid to top part of the North Island. You can see Wellington and Christchurch there as well. We do actually have 3 campuses. So if your students would be studying subjects such as health science or perhaps sport and recreation or education, they would be about a 20-minute drive, 15 or 20-minute drive. We have the city campus. Now, this is in the centre city of Auckland CBD. So it's a great spot for students who want to live. Our campus is about 30 minutes drive from the city campus available. Really, it's a combination of programs offered in the city and the North Campus. Now, AUT does have a shuttle bus that runs between all of these campuses, so it's easy for your students to get around. So, education and AUT. So we're actually working on partnership. It established initially as a foundation partner, but then we've started to roll this out into other pathways as well with the various schools that Up Education has. So the foundation program is fantastic. There is fantastic links between our lecturers. Some of our teachers or lecturers from the university have actually started lecturing at Up Education as well.
Marcel, your internet is very
We're also
unstable.
close in proximity. Sorry about that. Am I still audible?
Yeah, now it's better. Thank you.
Okay. So we do have a very good relationship between Up and AUT. Some of the study options at AUT are listed there. So most of the programs there, students can enter these programs from the Up Education pathway program. Although we're a very hands-on university, we have decided to put some programs online. Up Education also has their program online, so it's a nice segue until our borders are open. We do hope that we do get there soon and when it is safe to do so. So the full list can be found there. I'm going to try and play a video, even though the internet is very unstable. We do have some fantastic facilities at AUT, and these are facilities that we hope that you'll get to use, well, your students will get to use once they are able to travel. And because your students are young, we're hoping that the world does get vaccinated and there will be a chance for them to travel in the coming years. So some of those facilities include Millennium Institute for Sport and Recreation. We have film studios. We have a green screen room for CGI and game design and movies. We have fantastic facilities in terms of health science, for oral health and nursing, and we have clinics on that campus as well. We do have 2 restaurants on campus for culinary arts and hospitality and tourism, so it'll be great when your students get to come by and have a look. I haven't mentioned engineering because I'm going to let my colleague do the talk, and let's hope this video will play well for you all.
AUT's new engineering, computer and mathematical sciences building has been designed and constructed to reflect the evolution of teaching and learning in tertiary education. Learning is no longer restricted to classrooms. It is just as likely to happen in a virtual space as a physical one. Students want more collaborative experiences, and this state-of-the-art building offers flexibility, adaptability and minimises sole use spaces. The building is itself an educational tool. Lessons are brought to life by showcasing how theory from the classroom has been included in the building design. Surfaces and ceilings have been left exposed, and plant rooms have glazed walls so students can see the inner workings of the building. The building management system has been made available for students and staff to test and collect data from. Structure testing labs and a seismic shake table have been installed and will help with AUT's world-class research in these areas. The co-location of engineering, computer and mathematical sciences allows the school to foster unique synergies and encourage innovative ideas and research. The building brings together these disciplines in top-tier programs, a first for a New Zealand university.
So you can see there that it's a very modern, world-class university with great facilities. So in terms of our offerings for online, we are trying to keep our theoretical papers and subjects online until students are able to come and travel, when they can take the more practical AUT programs and use some of that infrastructure. So to match the infrastructure that we do have, we have fantastic industry partners. These partnerships range from business to engineering to IT. Many of AUT's programs, especially undergrad in the final year, will have a workplace component where students will actually be able to go to one of these workplaces and learn on the job. Student life is fantastic at AUT. We have lots of clubs and societies, sports teams. We have a fantastic orientation program for your students to get them oriented to AUT, to New Zealand life, to meet friends, and get to know the campus very, very well. Our student support services is very important to us. We want to make sure that your students are looked after. We do have a 24-hour hotline for students who potentially could be in trouble. They can call up that hotline. International students will have someone there to support and help them. It's an AUT app where students can find out where their classrooms are, find out any key information that's happening. We do have counselling services, we do have health services. One of the big things for our students, especially from overseas, is the employability service. It can help students find a part-time job while they're studying, and also find an internship or perhaps a full-time job once they have graduated. So now that was my presentation. Thank you again for your time. If you guys do have any further questions about AUT, that's my email contact there. And now I will pass you over to my colleague, Vanita. I believe you'll be next. Thank you and namaste.
Thank you, Marcel. Ritu, do you want me to go next or is it Andrea's turn? How do you want?
You can go ahead. It's okay. Vanita, you can go ahead.
Thank you so much. Hi, good morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing well and safe. Give me a moment. Let me just share my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Can see.
That's good.
Thank you. I might just want to turn my video off just in case I have bandwidth issues, so excuse me for that. So good afternoon, good morning, everybody again. Vinita from University of Auckland. I am the Senior Recruitment Advisor based in Mumbai. And I'm going to quickly take you through the presentation, but let me begin. Just give me a moment, I think I'm stuck.
You can stop sharing and then share again, Vanita, if it's not working.
Yeah. I'm sorry about this, but I was kind of anticipating trouble since morning. So just to quickly tell you about why study in New Zealand, apart from the fact that we are all aware that New Zealand is one of the world's best places to live and study and does offer internationally renowned education system and an unbeatable lifestyle, I think what's really important for us to reconsider in the coming years is the fact that New Zealand definitely is one of the safest countries to study and live in the coming years. Talking about us, we are located in Auckland, which is a global city and a home to 1.5 million people. It's a beautiful city, in fact, New Zealand's largest city, and is built between two harbors surrounded by dormant volcanoes and beautiful islands. So the city offers diverse mix of culture and languages like Marcel mentioned before, and does have a wide range of entertainment, sport and recreational activities. So this is our main city campus, as you can see the dotted lines, and we are located in the heart of downtown Auckland, which is just a few kilometers away from the city, and you have access to the main cultural, entertainment and commercial hubs. The campus is well equipped with all the amenities like cafes, health services, libraries, to name a few. Now, boasting a little about us, we are extremely proud to have ranked #1 globally in the past years in the Times Higher Education University Impact Rankings that measure the performance of universities against the United Nations Sustainable Development.
Listen, she wants to get herself tested. Miss Pooja.
Sorry. Yeah, can I continue?
Please, Vinita, I think somebody just by mistake got their mic. Yeah.
Thank you. We are also New Zealand's largest university, and we rank 81st in the QS World University Rankings. Around 33 of our subjects are ranked in the top 100, and 13 of them are ranked in the top 13 in the QS World University Rankings by Subject 2020. Some of these subjects include archaeology, education, pharmacy, pharmacology, engineering, civil and structural, specifically psychology, to name a few. We are also New Zealand's largest, highest ranked university for our graduate employability, and we rank 59th in the world for the same. We're extremely proud to be a research-led university and actually boast of a world-class academic staff, extensive library resources, excellent research facilities, and state-of-art of information technology. So that is a little about us. Taking you through some of our key programs, well, let me tell you that we have over 240 programs that is offered across 8 faculties. And I've just put in a few key programs out here because obviously I couldn't enlist all of them. So the Bachelor of Science comes with 15 subject specializations, as you can see, ranging from computer science, data science, environmental science, food science, nutrition, sports science, guys, to name a few. What's wonderful about the Bachelor of Science is the capstone strategy that gives you a wonderful opportunity to work on a real-time project that helps you, have a first-hand feel of the industry outside. Our Faculty of Medical and Health Sciences offers Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, which has spaces for around 30 international students. The other programs offered under the Faculty of Medical and Health Sciences are nursing, pharmacology, optometry, to name a few. One of the most popular programs among international students is the Bachelor of Engineering Studies, and our Faculty of Engineering for Civil and Structural ranks 39th in the QS World University rankings, and we also hold the top position in the country for the same. Our business school is a Triple Crown accredited, and you would probably know that there are very few universities across the globe that are Triple Crown accredited. So we rank in the top 1% globally. Our Bachelor of Commerce is a popular program among Indian students, which offers specializations like international business, marketing, finance, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Taking you through some of our conjoined programs. So we've got wonderful conjoined options that we offer, and we have around 30 of them, ranging from commerce and music to science and arts. What's really wonderful about these conjoined programs, apart from the fact that you can complete the course within a span of 4 to 5 or 5 to 8 years, depending on what is the combination that you actually look out for. The advantage is from the employer's perspective, because as you would know, employers these days are actually looking at versatility of the graduates and the background that they come from, and therefore it gives students an edge over the others. Now, the entry requirements will remain pretty common and similar for all the universities in New Zealand, and I'm not going to, spend a lot of time on this, but just to let you know that they are also program specific, and these are just broadly defined out here. So if you want to know more about specific programs, I encourage you to look at our website for the same. The English language entry requirements also remain similar for all universities. Admission process is very simple. You need to log on to our website, make an application, and the documents that you need to support are your 10th and 11th grade mark sheets. If the student has previously completed his grade 12th, then obviously he has to submit his 12th grade mark sheets. But for the current students, and I think this is very important for all of you to know, that for the current students, since the results are not out yet, we are accepting their predicted or indicative scores, and I will talk about it in a couple of minutes. And students, if they don't want to wait for the next semester, they can enroll with us and start their online study in the July intake. The other documents required is a passport, obviously, and you don't necessarily have to have an LOR or SOP unless it's being asked for. Talking a little about international scholarships, we spend around 15 million New Zealand dollars each year to give out scholarships to our international students. And our popular scholarship is the University of Auckland International Student Excellence Scholarship, which is up to 10,000 New Zealand dollars. And we give out 50 of them each year to the UG and PG students. We have room for around 4,400 students currently in the university, and we're looking to upgrading ourselves to having space for around 7,600 students by 2026, all owned and completely managed by the university. Very important feature of the university is the career development and employability services, and what makes it unique is the fact that even after completion of their graduation up to 3 years, the students can avail their services. So please check out our website for the wonderful opportunities that they organize, right from how to face an interview or make a CV or a covering letter in New Zealand context, to giving them insights on workplace, organizing career fairs, network evenings, so that students are very much informed about the world outside. Student life has always been exciting with the University of Auckland, and you name it, we've got all the facilities within the campus. You have over 200 clubs and societies and associations, and there's always a group for everyone. Just in case a student feels there is no particular club or society, he's free to start up something of his own. I'm just going to share a video. I hope I'm able to play. So that's how life in Auckland is for the students. Talking about the current situation at University of Auckland, we are all pretty much aware that there are travel restrictions and you can't go to New Zealand to study. So we are offering online study to begin with till the students are able to make it on shore. And the latest survey says that parents and students don't want to wait anymore because of a lot of uncertainty, and they're okay to start up with online study and continue doing it onshore whenever possible. So the study options that we have at the moment is obviously begin online and move to campus, or else for the students, obviously, if they don't want to continue, if they don't want to take up online study, they are happy to get their offers deferred. And those of them who are there in New Zealand obviously have the privilege to have a face-to-face teaching currently. So for those students who are looking at online study, you can start your study online while you're offshore. You don't have to necessarily apply for a visa. Students can choose between 1 to 4 courses per semester, and you have complete access to all our online resources and academic support. You can arrange a one-to-one Zoom session with the faculty, and you have complete support from the university. So this is a web page. This is a page on our website, and just to let you know, I will be sharing the presentation with Ritu in case somebody wants it. But this is the list of courses that are not available. Surprisingly, the list of courses that are available was much longer, and there are hardly few courses that could not be taught otherwise. So when you check out the website, remember these are the courses that are not available. The others are available. What we are offering at the moment for the students who are opting for online study is called an Auckland Advantage, which is a value added package for students, for international students who are taking the online study. Most of the benefits that are available are for them offshore, but there are few benefits that will be available to them once they are onshore. So in a nutshell, it's being categorized, the Auckland Advantage is being categorized into 3. As you can see, student support, career support, and transitional housing support. Under student support, now this is very important for you to know, because for the bachelor programs, for students who've completed 120 credit points, they get an additional, so in the next semester, they get one course free. So they don't have to pay for that one particular course. Apart from other things like study buddies and lower costs for online study, we also have 1,500 virtual micro internships that are available to students, so that just, they during their break time, they have a feel of how the industry works outside, and they have a good experience on working on these projects. Now, with respect to the transitional housing support, once the student is able to go to New Zealand, we offer them 50% discount on accommodations in the first 3 weeks. Now, this is where this is the last slide, but I just want you all to focus your attention once again on the predicted and indicative scores. So if you think there are students who want to start up their study online in the July 2021 intake with their predicted scores, please feel free to contact me, and I'm happy to help you with the application and get the application chased so that you can enroll the student and the student begins to study well on time. So that's a little from me. Thank you so much once again, Ritu and the entire team, for having us here today.
Thank you, Vinita, for sharing the details. Andrea, may I request you to please share the information about Victoria University?
Sure, thank you, Ritu. And thank you to my 2 colleagues as well for their beautiful presentations. So good morning, everyone. Kia ora, namaste. My name is Andrea. I'm the regional manager for the university, and I am usually based in Mumbai. I'm over in New Zealand for a couple of months at the moment just to see relatives, but I'll be back once again, which makes it very easy to get in touch, coordinate for any of your students who need assistance. I'm just going to play a little video about studying at the university in Wellington, because I think it does. Sorry, one second. I think I forgot to select the sound button. So I'm going to do that again. One moment. There we go. All right. Hopefully this will play with sound. If there's anything wrong with it, please put it on the chat. It'll pop up. I'll see it and skip to the next slide instead.
I love Wellington because it's always so full of life. There's so many things to do with my friends.
You can think of Wellington as an embodiment of multiple worlds. You can walk from the beach through the city up to Tari Walton Bush in 10 to 15 minutes. There's just something for everyone.
We've got the courts around us, Parliament, all that kind of thing that really helps the students to get a feel of what we're learning about.
I love Wellington. It's such a compact little city. There's always something going on. It's so easy to find something to do. Right from the first time I came to Wellington, I just felt really at home and really safe here. I'm a night owl, and at night there's just always something going on. There's always something to do, no matter what time it is.
Sorry, good.
Wellington is quite progressive and really accepting of diversity. I think it really helps people to find themselves.
What I really like about Wellington is that it's a centre of change. And within that, there are so many game changers. Everyday people getting out there, chasing their passions and making a difference.
I really love Wellington. There's always something going on. You can wander into town on any given day and there'll be a show on the waterfront or a comedy festival. You don't really have to plan ahead. Wellington's a really vibrant city.
Wellington taught me how to take a stance, question my beliefs, care about things, you know? It's a political town. People fight for the stuff that's important to them. Equality, art, sport, fashion, whatever it is. I love it. My life is so much bigger, more colourful, more interesting now.
So that was a bit of an introduction to our beautiful city. Usually when I speak to people, they're familiar with Auckland as a study destination, Wellington not so much. So to highlight why students would choose Wellington, it is the capital city of New Zealand. It's the second largest in terms of population size. It is also the creative centre of New Zealand. So we have the film industry based there. There's a great fashion industry, games design industry, music industry. It is also an IT hub, so it has about 25% of all of the IT jobs in New Zealand. So it's a diverse city, it's a safe city, it's a very cosmopolitan city, and while it's compact, it feels like a big city. There's always a lot going on. It was ranked the most livable city in the world 2 years running by Deutsche Bank in 2017 and 2018, before unfortunately falling to the number 2 position. But that goes to show what a fantastic lifestyle the students can have there. It's a great city to study, to live, to work afterwards as well. Now on to the information about the university. So Victoria University of Wellington is in the top 1% of universities worldwide. We are number 223 as per the QS rankings, and we have 11 subjects in the top 100. We are also one of only 14 universities in the world to have 5+ QS stars of excellence across all categories, and we have a Triple Crown accredited business school. Now, in a normal non-COVID year, we usually have about 22,000 students from more than 100 countries. So about 3,800 of them are international. Obviously, we unfortunately don't have as many international students on campus at the moment as we would wish for, but there are many joining us online from different parts of the world. We do have 196 partner universities in 39 countries, which is great for students coming for their bachelors who'd also like to do a semester abroad somewhere else. They can do so. And we have 3 city campuses, which I'll be showing you. We are also the #1 ranked university in New Zealand for intensity of high quality research, and that is supported by the 43 research institutes that we do have there, which are very closely integrated with teaching activities as well. So the students are taught by lecturers who are also actively engaged in research in their fields and very passionate about what they're teaching and what they're researching. It's just some visuals of campus. That's one of our main buildings on the Kelburn campus. That's the Hunter building. There's the student hub. We have 3 campuses. I'll be showing you them on a map. That's our School of Business and Government down at Pipitea, the School of Law at Pipitea, which is right opposite the Supreme Court of New Zealand. And that's our School of Architecture and Design at Te Aro. So if you put them on a map, Wellington's a very walkable city. #1 is the main campus. #2 is business, government and law. And #3 is architecture and design. And you could probably walk between them 20 minutes each way. It's quite easy to get around. Now, how our degrees work. New Zealand degrees are very flexible. Students can choose to do 1 degree. They can choose to do a conjoint degree by doing 2 together. That usually takes 4 years, or in the case of, say, a conjoint degree of law and another program, it might take 5. They can choose 1 major, 2 majors, a major and minors. They can also take 1 degree with a major from that degree and take a major from a second degree without needing to do a conjoint degree. So for example, one of my students who is from India, she was very passionate about design. Her parents wanted her to have a practical career option. So she enrolled in a Bachelor's of Commerce with Management, and she added a second major in fashion design technology alongside. So everyone was happy. She got to pursue her dreams, and they got to know that she has a reliable backup for her career as well. So we will very much ensure that students are able to structure their degrees the way that they wish to. And we do have course advisors who are able to, sorry, there's a phone ringing in the background, hopefully that will stop soon, that we have course advisors who are able to provide support to students to help them plan that out to reach their study goals. I'm going to very quickly walk you through the programs. We do have the Bachelor of Laws that leads to registration as a lawyer in New Zealand. Bachelor of Commerce is probably our most popular degree for international students. To highlight a couple of subjects there, if they study accounting, that leads to Chartered Accountancy accreditation. They don't need to take that separately. We're the only university in New Zealand that teaches actuarial science, if you have any students interested in that area as well. And we do have the United Nations Tourism Organization accreditation for our tourism management. Architecture and design, we teach 3 programs. In New Zealand, architecture is a little different, a 3-year bachelor's degree followed by a 2-year master's for registration, which is separate from the 5-year Indian bachelor's of architecture. We then have design innovation with some fantastic majors available there for study, and building science, which is similar to civil engineering technology. Both of those majors are very in demand in New Zealand: construction project management or sustainable engineering systems, which is about the construction of green buildings. Then onwards to humanities. We do have, we're on the top 1% worldwide for our Bachelors of Arts, and for humanities in general, lots of different options for students to study. Psychology and international relations are the most popular ones that I generally find for my Indian students enrolling there. Bachelor of Music and Bachelor of Communication, 2 more specialized options in humanities. Our Bachelor of Science, which has many options for them to choose from. Bachelor of Health, as well as a Bachelor of Biomedical Science for students interested in medical research. Bachelor of Education for teaching early childhood. And Bachelor of Engineering. So the Bachelors of Engineering, we have 3 majors available. We have electronics, we have software and cybersecurity. And one thing I would like to mention about the Bachelors of Engineering is that they do get work experience while they study. They get 800 hours of paid work experience before they finish their bachelor's degree. So they're very much work ready by the time they finish. Now, we are teaching most of our bachelor's degrees online. There's a few exceptions. The Bachelors of Health is not online. Certain majors under the Bachelor of Music are not online, and electrical electronics in the Bachelors of Engineering, and film and theatre in the Bachelor of Arts are not online because of the nature of the studies and the fact that the students do need to be there in person to really be able to get the proper experience. Everything else we are teaching online. We are doing our best to ensure that students have as similar a experience to studying while they wait to come down to join us as they would have if they're with us. There's a lot of support for them while they're still overseas, whether it's academic and learning support, counselling, mental health support when they require it. So we do have a good cohort of Indian bachelor's students who have started with us online in February, and others who will be joining us in July. So student support, we've got a great team there at the university. They are there for everything the students need, whether it's student health, whether it's just somebody to talk to about, any type of issues they're having. We've got a buddy program. We've got staff members who help them with their visa extensions and with their insurance claims. Anytime they have an issue, anytime they need some help, they just have to go to the international office and they will be directed to the right person to help them. We also run a couple of great extracurricular programs. We have an international leadership program where they learn from world leaders and get a very global outlook. And we also have the Wellington Plus program where they sign up to do volunteering activities. This really helps them to settle in, make friends, get involved with the community. And it is basically very well regarded by employers as well. If they complete one or both of these programs, it will also be mentioned on their transcripts when they graduate. We do have 13 different hostels they can stay in. I do recommend bachelor students stay in a hostel when they first arrive. It's, when they're just 18, it can be quite tough to find your own accommodation unless you've got some family and friends staying there. So we have hostels where they get 3 meals a day provided to them. They're very fun, very safe spaces. They organize a lot of activities for them so they can make friends. Some of them have gyms, art rooms, design rooms, project rooms, quiet study areas, and they've got residential advisors that live there and that take care of them alongside. And if they have, I get asked by a lot of students about vegetarian food or other dietary requirements. Yes, any type of dietary requirement, whatever it is, you just have to let them know. They'll make sure there's suitable food for you. Scholarships. So we have a main academic scholarship, which is the Tongarewa Scholarship, and it awards either $5,000 or $10,000 based on their marks in their previous studies, so the 12th grade marks usually. Education New Zealand usually offers the New Zealand Excellence Awards, on hold at the moment while borders are closed, but that should be starting up soon. And we also have a scholarship for the highest performing students from our UP Foundation Studies program. So if they do go through UP Foundation Studies, they do really well there, they can get a scholarship towards their bachelor's degree as well. So now admission. For CBSE, ISC, and certain state boards, it's 75% average with 65% in English. For IB, we just need them to achieve the diploma with 24 points, and we again have English language waivers. And for Cambridge, they need 3 A-level subjects at C grade or above. Now, given the current situation in India, we are accepting their predicted scores for enrollment in the July intake. I know it might be a little late at this stage. Most of the students have probably already decided where they're enrolling. They might be in progress. But we have tried to make that process as easy as possible with them because we know it's been a very stressful time for all of the students as they waited to see what would happen. I'm quite relieved that they decided to cancel the exams because I didn't want anyone to, to be put in danger to try and take their exam. So hopefully they'll come up with a great solution soon for the marks to be given for that. And that's me, that's my contact details. I'm there on WhatsApp on that number as well. So very easy to get in contact with me or write me an email. I'm happy to speak to individual students and their parents too, if they want to know what their options are and how they can enroll with us. Thank you, that's me.
Thanks, Andrea. That's quite a wonderful information you've shared, and I'm sure the audience would have learned a lot from it. So, okay, so I'll share my screen and I will take you through with the details about the foundation program options available for your students. So here you go. So about the foundation program, so UP Education is partnered with all these 3 universities, and our partnership is very, very long association with them. The way we have designed foundation program, they are shorter in duration. Shorter in duration, when I say, that's basically between 6 months to 12 months timeline that they finishes the foundation program, and then they join the first year bachelor program with the university. Now, this is not for any and every student who's directly eligible, directly join and study their bachelor's program. This is for those students whose academics are not matching up with the university requirement, but they are very keen to study any program with the university, whichever is applicable with respect to the bachelor's program. They can join the pathway program with us. So about what benefits does student have if they join the foundation program? So foundation program basically act like a bridge program. Okay, so students, because of academic results, cannot make it directly with the university. They have this option available. And when they join the foundation program, they get a guarantee admission to the university program as well. But it comes with the condition that they have to pass in the units and they have to get a required GPA. Also, the way the program is being designed, it's more with respect to the way university runs its bachelor program. So the curriculum is being structured in line with the university requirement. And when students join the program, they really feel comfortable because when they finishes the foundation, gets into the bachelor's program, they perform really well. And some of these students are able to actually get the progression scholarship that university offers to the student. So that's another set of advantage that is available. Foundation program also very comfortable for students because our professor provide them, additional classroom system wherein other than the classes that happens, if they need any extra support, they get the extra time. So it's not even during these times when the classes are happening online that they are their own. It's nothing of that sort. We try to keep the classes live instead of recording. So usually the classes are from India time. It starts like 6:30 in the morning, and then they have a whole day scheduled. So it's not that morning class is done, then they're free. No, they have group projects that they work. Even with online, they're able to connect with each other virtually and work on their projects. They have presentations, they have assignments. So whatever we can do, to bring students globally close to each other, we try and do our best that way. And professors also stay in touch with all these students to make sure that they're able to perform really well in their course and progress successfully to the university program. These are about the details of the pathway program. So this is about the University of Auckland Foundation program that we are offering. The requirements are also listed. So we have introduced the accelerated program with University of Auckland, which is just 5 months in duration. Now the requirement for this program is for grade 12 students. So if student has done A levels, then they need to pass in minimum 3 subjects. Also, if they have done AS level, then we have to look into the result and come back to you if they are eligible to apply for this or not. If student is CBSE, ISC board, then they need to have minimum 60% to apply for this program. And so as we have the English requirement for this. Other than this accelerated, we have fast track and standard. The duration is about 8 months to 12 months. The requirement is that it's basically students who completed their O levels. Not every student who completed O levels with any grade is acceptable. There has to be like 2B, 2C, or a combination of 4Bs. That's how we see to it in 4 relevant subjects. And 11th grade students who've completed year 11, we look at minimum 80% to apply for this. If a student has done high school, then based on their given marks in year 12, we're going to look at accordingly and then going to inform the student if eligible to study. So this is minimum for 11th, not for 12th. So please don't get confused here. And so as the English requirement are listed. And for standard program, again, student if finished O level or IB board, we accept IB board as well. Any education board that we have in India, because every school has a different education board system, we accept all of them. It's just that you have to share the profile with us of the student and we can guide them accordingly. If it's CBSE, ISC, it's or a state level board, it's 70% that we're looking at in year 11. So for English equivalency, if student cannot give IELTS, we conduct our own English test that's applicable and accepted by most of the New Zealand university. But there are certain courses wherein student has to give IELTS in later stage. So whichever course they're gonna go, whatever the condition is going to be there, that all listed very clearly in their admission offer that they're going to get from us. So about AUT and Victoria University, these are the courses listed. So fast track, it's 6 months. We accept students completed their grade 11th or O levels with minimum 80% in their grade 11th, and the English requirement are listed here. For standard and standard plus program, which is 8 months and 12 months in duration, we're looking for a similar grade. So herein, what duration student going to get is based on their English requirement. If student doesn't, not looking forward to give IELTS or hasn't got a required score, we conduct our own English test as well. And a student who is studying in IB, doing a IB program or doing O levels, we accept the specific grade in English. If they have that, then there is no need for them to give the English test also. And these are about the various streams that we offer as a progression. So when your student actually applies, they're going to get a combined, they're going to get 2 offers, one for the pathway, the other is the progression for the bachelor's program. So from the beginning, your student has the assurance that I got the admission and I just need to make sure to perform very well in the foundation and progress to the bachelor's program. Now, these are the streams. There are a lot of bachelor's options available, alongside with these streams that student with their interest and choice among all the 3 universities can study the program. Now, with this given choices, not every stream is available in every university. It's combining all the 3 universities together. These are the stream options available. This is the application process that your student is going to go for. It's all online. So just need to go apply online, upload the document, a good SOP as to why a student is looking for a specific program. The team review the admission form submitted by the student, review it, then send across if there is any need further required from the student. Then they issue the offer, which are 2. One is for pathway, the other is for the bachelor's program with the university. And then student process further in accepting the offer and processing further to starting their course. At the moment is online, so that's how it is. This is me. So I'm based here in Delhi NCR, very close to most of you. My contact details are there. If you wish to speak with me later on, or you want to have a session for your students with all our university which are here, we are pretty happy to do a session for your school. Just write to us, let us know which date and time, and then accordingly we'll coordinate and come back to you. And that's all from me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ritu.
And yeah, thanks.
That was a lovely presentation. So I think we can move on to the Q&A session now, or anyone of the attendees, if you have any query, you can write it in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Before going on to that, I saw a question in the chat box. So it was from Sonal Sachdev. She hasn't mentioned the university here, but she was asking, can I apply for a PhD psychology?
Is Alma's there or we lost her? Okay. She's not here.
Question.
Yeah, so she's not here. I'll just repeat a question. There is a person who's asking if she can apply for the PhD in psychology. So I'll ask all the university one by one. They can share the details.
I can do that. And the details I share will probably be quite similar to most of the other universities. So then they can just put in the points of difference. So for a PhD in psychology, you would need to hold a master's degree which had research within it in the same topic. So a master's that had a thesis or had a dissertation where your topic was psychology. It can't be from a different area, and it can't be a purely coursework master's. We generally are looking for maybe a B+ average for entry into our PhD program. It might differ from university to university. Our university has an online portal where you can apply for your PhD studies. It's got a how to apply guide. So perhaps maybe we can all put our PhD page address in the chat for you. You can have a little look there at each of the options, and then Marcel and Vinita can say if they have any point of difference in their PhD applications.
Thank you, Andrea. Yeah, Andrea is absolutely correct. In some ways, I feel like the procedures will be kind of similar. You will need a research master's, you'll need a couple of references, you'll need your thesis proposal, all of that key information. So what I'll do as well, is in the chat box below. I'll add a website where you can go and search for a lecturer or a supervisor for any subject. So think of a subject, if it's psychology, whack it in, you'll see the contact details of our key supervisors where you'll be able to make contact. Plus, I'll also whack in the official research website of AUT. So, Anita, do you want to share as well?
So I've done
Yeah,
the same.
Benita's put hers on.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to, yeah.
Thank you.
There is a question on the post-study work, right, as well. I think all three of us not really talk about it. So can we have a quick information about post-study work, right, and part-time, and if parent can also travel and work part-time?
I just realized none of us covered that in our presentation. When students finish their bachelor's degrees, they get a 3-year open post-study work visa. So they have 3 years to stay back in the country, work wherever they want. And then at the end of those 3 years, they can see if they wish to extend it and how they wish to extend it. So none of us are allowed to give advice on immigration or anything like that. There's a lot of advice on the Immigration New Zealand website that you can have a look at if you're interested in those areas, or it's best to consult a licensed immigration advisor if you would like to know about policies related to PR and work visas. But 3 years after bachelor's, while they are studying, they can work 20 hours a week part-time, and they can work full-time in their holidays. Parents generally, they can definitely travel with the students on a visitor visa to settle them in. They can visit them on a visitor visa, but if they wanted to be there in any other capacity, say working or something like that, they would need to qualify in their own rights. It's not dependent on their children holding a visa there.
Thank you, Andrea, for giving information about that. So I hope.
Yeah, so I see Rita ma'am has raised a hand there. So yes, ma'am, over to you.
Yeah, good afternoon all. One of my questions you have already answered about, how long a student can stay after he has finished his studies. Yeah, another question is you have been talking about, the academic score for admission to different courses in all of these universities. My doubt is like, do you only look at the academic score for the admission, or is there anything else in the profile of the student you are looking at so that he is selected or shortlisted for your university?
Well, we look at academic scores only.
Okay.
So that's the criteria.
The only program where we look at something else is the Bachelor of Music, where if they want to do one of the performance majors, they have to do an audition. Everything else is only academic scores.
Yeah, even in foundation, actually, we look at the academics because that's the primary way of looking at student profile and seeing if they are eligible. If they have done anything else, that actually makes their profile strong, but should not be the only way of looking at and then offering the admission. So primary is going to be the academics for all of us.
So if a student has done very good in academics, he need not to worry about his social work, activity, sports, and things like that?
Not necessary.
Yeah.
It can sometimes make a difference depending on which hostels you're applying for. So different, like the more sought after hostels will usually shortlist students based on their profiles, their extracurriculars. It can also sometimes make a difference with scholarships, but with admission, only academics.
I got Rita ma'am's question. I know what she's trying to say is like US universities or Canadian universities, they look into the all over profile of the student.
Yes,
yeah, not just
that's what she's asking about.
Yeah.
Not just academics. Even if you are good in academics, they look in for the all over performance, like your sports, your extracurricular activities.
No, we're aware of the US Canadian system, but we believe students shouldn't be put under more pressure while they're in 12th grade to, not only achieve fantastically, but also get out there and do 20 other things to build their profiles.
And I think the New Zealand universities will give students the opportunity to develop their extracurricular while they're in New Zealand. It's a great opportunity to, join clubs, join societies. At AUT, we have the EDGE Award, which is additional to your studies. It's where students can go do some volunteer work or some management, and they get recognized for those hours that they do, as well as their completion certificate. So all the unis have opportunities to develop and grow their international students.
Can I please ask one more question?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is the average cost of education, undergrad, for a student in New Zealand university on an average?
It's similar between all of us. Generally, the higher ranked the university, the more expensive it is. But so I can tell you for our university, the bachelor's degrees differ between about $28,000 per year NZD to about $36,000 per year NZD. So I think the least expensive one we have is teaching. The most expensive one we have is engineering, and everything else is somewhere in the middle. I'm going to try and tell you in INR. I usually do a 50 rupees to the dollar conversion, but I think it's changed a little since then. So give me 1 second. So it's about, you could say, between 14 to maybe 19 lakh rupees per year, INR. And living expenses, students should budget about 10 lakh rupees per year, INR.
So the living expenses is for the
accommodation
for accommodation from the university, or if they want to go for their own accommodations.
Yeah, EVA. That's like the overall budget. So your accommodation, your food, your transport, your basic sort of everyday needs should fall into that budget.
So is it the same for the in the current situation, the classes are going online right now. So the fee structure is the same for the online classes, or is it different?
Different universities have slightly different, so I can say
criteria.
For us, the fee structure is the same, but rather than having to pay their fees by the year, they can pay trimester by trimester. So they only pay the subjects that they are taking in that trimester or semester. And I'll let Marcel and Vinita say what their particular policy with the fees are at present.
Yeah, thanks, Andrea. Our programs are similar in price to Victoria, in that same price bracket. In terms of online studies, the same as Victoria. You can pay per paper or per subject. As yet, we're not looking at discounting online fees because we secretly have our fingers crossed for a border opening soon. If the borders don't open, I think we need to start looking at something like that.
Well, it's the same for us as well. We do not offer discounts on our tuition fee, and our tuition fee ranges generally between 33,000 New Zealand dollars to around 38,000 New Zealand dollars. Like Andrea mentioned, depending on the program that you are applying for. I did mention about Auckland Advantage. So we are offering one course free after the student completes 120 credit point program. So it's more of a value added package that we're offering, but there are no discounts on tuition fees. I think we're all on the same page.
Yeah, and for foundation, because its duration is very short, so the fees ranges between 19,000 to 29,000 New Zealand dollars based on which course that student is gonna go for. We offer scholarship, which is more on interview basis, and the fee they have to pay in one go. If they get the scholarship, then amount go a little lower. So that's how it is. But I think it's see, at the end of the day, even if it's online, because university is only asking for the tuition fee, they're not asking for other resources which are associated, because we understand student based in their home countries. So if you look at the overall fee structure, there are a lot other components added to it. So at the moment, university is more emphasizing only on the tuition fee and the examination fee, but nothing beyond that. And To be honest, if I talk about the foundation program, we running program online since last year. And honestly, students been very sincere with respect to attending their classes. We had students who've completed their foundation program online and progressed with university for their bachelors. And they were very happy because they're very concerned about their studies. They're very sure that they want to study in New Zealand. It's just that because of the given time and situation, they can't travel. But keeping finger crossed, I think soon we may have some good news coming from New Zealand as well. But yes, India is not in a good shape. So we hope and pray that the numbers here should go lower. Think people should get, healthier fast, and we all stay safe until then. So yeah, that's how it is.
If I can just
I
add a
must say
point,
students and yes ma'am.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I think what's really important is the fact that students can, enroll even for the July intake. If you speed up the application process, you don't really have to have a visa in place. So that's really wonderful about New Zealand is they can just apply and enroll if they get their provisional firm offer letter.
Yeah. I think just one thing I would like to mention in terms of student care is when the pandemic first occurred, there were a lot of really very sad stories from across the world of students who found themselves in difficulties. They lost their jobs, their part-time jobs. They weren't able to go to their universities. There were some different countries saying different things to them. So one thing I'm very proud of is that we did look after our international students in New Zealand very well. So all of the universities had plans in place where we made sure that there was outreach to them, that they knew they could get support at any time. International students were included in the government's JobKeeper scheme, where if they couldn't go into work due to lockdown, their wages would still be paid. So they didn't lose their part-time income alongside. We had hardship funds, so that if anyone was struggling financially, they could, get some assistance from the universities and from the government. So we, we have a very strict pastoral care standards there in New Zealand. And we also have I'm probably going to absolutely ruin the pronunciation, but there's a Maori cultural concept called manaakitanga. Did I do that okay? All right, thanks Marcel. And it's about how we care for those who have come to us, come to the land as the guests. So it's a concept we take very seriously, and I think that has really helped to basically boost New Zealand's reputation worldwide, because those students have gone back to their families and their teachers and their friends and said, well, you know what, we were actually looked after really well, like we were, as well as any citizen who is here.
Thank you, Andrea. So moving on to the next question, we have a question from Ms. Punita. She says, do you have any PhD for working professions, like something online? And I'll add to that question that will the stipends be same if you have any online PhD courses?
I can start to tackle this one, if you like. So in terms of the cost for PhD, it is much more reasonable. And the counsellors probably know this already, but counsellors or any international students would pay domestic fees for studying a PhD. So that would probably be around maybe 6,000 or 7,000 per year, New Zealand dollars. So it is quite heavily reduced anyway. In terms of online study, each university will be different. Again, we all secretly have our fingers crossed for borders opening. However, we have had some students do some of the groundwork in terms of starting their PhD offshore. But at some stage, we are wanting those students to come to New Zealand. Working full-time and doing a PhD is quite difficult. In New Zealand, if you do actually come to New Zealand, you do have an open work visa. So you can work full-time under your student visa allowances, but it would be extremely difficult and you wouldn't get any sleep because you would be working and studying. So I'm not sure if that exactly answered the question. No, specific online stipends, I guess, for AUT for online PhD, but the price for a PhD is fairly reduced anyway, in short.
Yeah,
Thank
I don't know the answer about the stipend. If you got a scholarship, the scholarship would still be in place. There's a lot of PhDs are fully funded, so you can qualify for a scholarship. But a stipend is generally for living expenses. So my gut feeling says you'd have to come down to New Zealand before the stipend starts. I don't know the answer, but that's what I think would be the likelihood of that one.
So you do provide online courses for PhD?
We do, and I've actually got a good number of students in India who've started and are, waiting to come down. But it's with the understanding that they will transfer down as and when they're able. We would not just continue online, after borders have opened as well.
We are allowing them to basically begin with their reviewing of literature and the groundwork, like Marcel mentioned, for those of them who've already had their applications previously, because PhD, as you would understand, does take a little while. If Marcel and Andrea would agree, it's not as easy as it might seem. So it takes a little while for you to get the consent of a supervisor and then move ahead with your application. So that takes a little while. Once you have the consent and your application moves further, you can start with your groundwork till you're able to be on shore. Is that similar with you as well?
Yeah, pretty similar. In terms of perhaps stipends and scholarships, for AUT, we do have more scholarships available for PhD level studies rather than the undergraduate studies. So I know this is not specifically for the counsellor's students, but perhaps for the counsellors or their friends and families. I'll put in the chat box the link to AUT's scholarship database, and you'll see more often than not the scholarships are directed at PhD level study.
I would also want to mention one thing, that for students, of course, the July intake, the scholarship portals with University of Auckland is closed now. But for students who do get scholarships, they can utilize the scholarship for the online study. So that is also one thing that I think I missed mentioning in my presentation.
Yeah, and same for us. They are eligible for scholarships even if starting online.
Okay. So any more questions from anyone? Okay, I think that's from the Q&As.
We've popped in our contact details and email ID. So if there's anybody,
yeah,
definitely,
please feel free to reach out. And all your presentations were self-explanatory, I guess. So all the questions were answered. So Ritu, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Almas, and thank you, everyone. We are now towards the end of closing the session for the day. Before we do so, I would like to thank you to Marcel, Andrea, and Vinita for their presence and sharing the details with all of you. I am sure it's going to be very, very helpful. I am also my vote for thanks to ICAE team for organizing this event for us. I think this has been wonderful way of connecting people during the difficult times. We all need to make sure that the work should go in progress and be able to help students and assist them in a best way we can, so that their education shouldn't get affected. So on that note, thank you again, everyone, for your time and presence and patiently listening to us. I would be sending you an email about the basic details that we have shared with you today. If any one of you who is the school counselor and wishes to have a similar session for your students, we are happy to do that for you. And if you may have any queries, you have the contact details. So I'll still be putting that in my email. You can feel free and email to all of us with respect to your queries or your concerns. We are happy to help you. Till then, please stay safe. That is what we all pray for each other, and take care of your loved ones and the people around. So take all the precautions required, and we hope and pray that India should get into a better situation in the coming time and be able to fly. I think that's what we are all looking for. So till then, Stay safe. Take care of yourself. Thank you, everyone, once again. Have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Stay safe and stay healthy, everyone. Bye-bye for now.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.